Be positive. This is 2026. It's never been 2026 ever before until now.
You don't know that. Like, hey,
No.
I saw you playing this.
Let's go hang out.
Yeah, let's sit under this fern and have a Harvey Wellbanger or something like that. But it was kind of cool because we're like, oh my god, we just got ripped off in a 3-card Monte game. It's like we're big city people now.
That's sad. That's just sad. Welcome to Hella Foggy, a podcast about the Bay Area.
I'm Greg. He's Wayne.
We're two Bay Area natives from both sides of the bay.
Our podcast gets a little ranty.
A little sentimental.
Sometimes informative.
But mostly pointless.
Basically, it's just us trying to make sense of this weird place we love and call home.
So don't forget to transfer at MacArthur.
And enjoy Hella Foggy.
All right.
Oh, hold on, Wayne. Sorry. Happy post-New Year's, Wayne.
Happy 26.
Oof.
Yeah, no, it's a new year, new goals for the year. Did you come up with any New Year's resolutions, Greg?
Just to get a job. That's my resolution.
That's a good one to have.
Yeah, it's very self-improving.
Yeah, it does help on a lot of fronts.
Yeah. What about you? What are your big resolutions?
I guess the opposite or not the opposite. The opposite would be terrible. Sustaining the job. I don't know. I'd love for this to continue. So I want to focus on this podcast a little more and see where it can go.
More than we already are? Are you insane? This has absorbed my life.
I don't know. It's overtaken everything, every aspect of my life as well. It's crazy. I think I mentioned to you the other day, like when I close my eyes to go to sleep, all I hear is us talking, and it's because
what a thing. And it's such a crappy podcast. And it's taken over our lives. What does that say about our lives?
Our goals aren't that high, I guess.
Well, maybe maybe we should change that. Maybe we should have better goals. My goal is to have better goals, I guess, for the new year.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one to have for sure.
Including the podcast.
Yeah. Our goals for this year is to have less takebacks, maybe.
Fewer? That's like half the show now.
It is half the show. And we're about to go into this long one right now. But
right.
Yeah. Well, actually, I do want to, and we've talked about this before, on the podcast, mix it up a little bit, have some different types of content where it's not just us regurgitating our memories, but more so like, hey, let's go explore a certain town and then talk about it.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's going to be very exciting when we get around to that.
Right. Everything you need to know about Aptos. Is that a city?
Yeah. Aptos?
Yeah.
Aptos is a city.
Okay. Is it here?
I think it's on an island.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. In Marin.
Oh, okay. Well, one of the things that we wanted to take back quickly, just to clarify, the Carolina Hurricanes, which was a hockey team that we talked about in our last episode, was previously the Hartford Whalers.
There you go.
That's all. Just wanted to point that out.
There's going to be so many babies born 9 months from now.
Yeah.
Because you've turned so many people on right now discussing the Hartford Whalers. Oh my God.
Well, okay. Let's move on. Speaking of hockey, though,
yeah, it's going to get even more sexy.
Something that you've brought up several times now are the old Seals hockey team, the Oakland Seals that you had mentioned, that you had a sticker on your desk.
Yeah.
You could actually almost say that the Seals actually won a Stanley Cup.
What?
And I'm going to tell you how, okay?
All right.
The San Francisco Seals were a hockey team. They played at the Cow Palace. We've talked about the Cow Palace. This is another thing.
Mm-hmm. Right? Talked about it.
In 1967, they joined the NHL as an expansion team.
Right.
And so at that point, they were renamed the California Seals, which the previous year they had moved to Oakland.
Oh,
okay.
Yay.
They renamed themselves the Golden State Seals at one point.
Yeah.
And then ultimately the California Golden Seals.
Oh.
In 76, they moved the team to Cleveland, of all places, and they renamed themselves the Cleveland Barons. But again, not a very successful team, and the franchise was suffering in Cleveland, suffering as well in the Minnesota North Stars. And so instead of two teams disappearing from the
Mhm.
NHL, they decided to merge
Yeah.
as the Minnesota North Stars. And apparently in the early 90s, the franchise in Minnesota still had some issues and they moved to Dallas
Yeah.
and became the Dallas Stars. Following me?
Yeah.
And the Dallas Stars won the Stanley Cup in 1999.
That's
So
that
so if you follow the entire trajectory of the San Francisco Seals / Oakland Seals,
yeah.
you could almost say their franchise won the Stanley Cup.
No, you cannot win. You cannot. That was a crazy Stanley Cup in '99. That was man. I'm glad we're talking about that. That was so like we're not that desperate for content. Hey sports guy. I'm gonna throw up two things in your face
All right.
about Bay Area sports right now.
Okay.
But I have facts that I'm going to share. We don't have to talk about them today, but we should still acknowledge them.
Yeah.
The Bay Area in the 70s was a big regional league for professional wrestling. Moondog, Maine. I think Jimmy Superfly Snuka was involved with Bay Area wrestling.
Really?
So that's something that we should visit in future episodes. And the Bay Area was a big roller derby city.
Oh.
I mean, Oakland, San Francisco. I don't know. Yeah, I think they were the Bombers, the Bay Bombers, or something like that.
Bay City? No, is that right?
I don't know.
We're gonna have to look that up.
And then also we need to eventually talk about the Oakland Stompers, the soccer team, and the San Jose Earthquakes.
There you go. Earthquakes are still playing.
Well, good.
Yeah. Hey, there's a new section that we're gonna talk about, and this is the thing that I'm loving about the podcast right now is that we have some passionate listeners out there.
Oh, brother.
Oh,
that's all we need.
I will say I'm embarrassed that we left this whole fact out. Okay, so one of our listeners, we'll just call him Dylan.
Ugh, yuck.
He pointed out. And this is our new section called pushbacks, where listeners correct us.
Oh, that's all we need to encourage those animals to reach out. No, I'm against this section. But anyways, go ahead.
I'm going to call it out because I think it deserves the recognition.
Pandering to these animals. Anyways, go ahead.
We left out a huge thing during the holidays. We talked about all the things that we remembered during the holidays, but we forgot to call out one of the greats of San Francisco.
Here we go.
Vince Guaraldi.
The jazz pianist, Vince Guaraldi.
Yeah. The music, the soundtrack, essentially the lifeblood of the Peanuts series, right? The Peanuts world was scored by Vince Guaraldi.
Yeah, and the Peanuts main theme, Linus and Lucy, was the Vince Guaraldi trio, I think was the band. Yeah, so he was a big West Coast jazz, smooth jazz kind of guy. And he had a cool mustache.
Handlebar, right?
Yeah. That would be a handlebar mustache.
I listened to some interviews of him, and when you see the handlebars and you see, what he looked like, you expect like this gravelly, like biker voice. And he was just a really calm sounding man. It was interesting to hear some of the interviews of his. Here's a little background. He is a San Francisco native, born in San Francisco,
right,
in North Beach, right? He attended Lincoln High School. So for all you San Francisco natives, right? He went to Lincoln, of all places. Other alumni, apparently, that went to Lincoln were Jeffrey Tambor, B.D. Wong.
Oh, the best. I like B.D. Wong.
Mike Holmgren, the great San Francisco 49er assistant coach.
Wow.
But the biggest one, get this, Genie. Not the blue one.
Robin Williams?
Not Robin Williams.
Barbara Eden.
But yeah, Barbara Eden. Genie. Yeah. Genie went to Lincoln.
That's amazing that both Barbara Eden and Robin Williams, two of our three primary Genie portrayers in film, the third being the guy from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah, pretty amazing, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that Barbara Eden was from San Francisco.
Yeah.
Apparently, she can trace her lineage back to Ben Franklin too. So,
Wow. Well, good for Barbara Eden.
yeah, and she also went to SF State, which this is where I went. Sorry, I didn't mean that. Vince Guaraldi went to SF State.
That's
So,
great.
yeah.
I'm proud that Vince Guaraldi's from here. So I have a pushback too from my friend Brad.
Oh boy, what happened?
So in the New Year's episode, I related how we played Prince 1999 on kazoos at midnight when the year switched over to 1999.
Yeah.
I said it was at Brad's house in Noe Valley. It wasn't. It was at Pete and Nancy's. And that's according to Brad himself.
Okay.
So I'm embarrassed. But yeah, the Prince Kazoo happening was at Pete and Nancy's.
Oh yeah. Was that still in San Francisco or somewhere else?
No, that was in San Francisco.
Hmm.
It just wasn't at Brad's house.
I kind of want to just hear you on a kazoo again. I think that was my favorite part of our New Year's episode.
Yeah, we can arrange something.
Let's come up with a different song.
You know what? I'll do a Vince Guaraldi cover in a kazoo.
It'll sound exactly the same as 1999 on kazoo.
Yeah.
So this is Christmas Time is Here.
Yeah. That'll be good.
All right. While I was editing the episode, you mentioned a fictitious person called Chucky Checker.
Chucky. All right. Yeah. I may have gotten something wrong here. Is this a pushback?
Oh, shoot. I guess this is not a pushback.
This is a takeback.
This is a takeback.
Okay. So Chubby Checker was his real name, correct? Is that what this is about?
Yes.
Yeah. Not Chucky Checker.
Chubby Checker was the actual singer of, well, the second performer of Twist.
The Twist. And the original was Hank Ballard and the Midnighters, and Hank Ballard was drunk when I saw him. So just to remind everybody how we ended up talking about Chubby Checker.
There's another famous Chucky from the Bay Area.
Really?
Yeah. This is gonna blow your mind. Let me just give you some warning. It's gonna blow your mind. Chuck E. Cheese is from the Bay Area.
Oh, dang it. Oh, man. The restaurant whose symbol is a giant rat.
You know that rat was not supposed to be a rat?
Is it a mouse?
Apparently, when they got the outfit for the animatronic, it was supposed to be a coyote, but it looked so much like a rat, they had to do an audible and change Chuck E. Cheese to a rat.
Change it to a rat.
So, which sounds terrible. Why would you have your representation be a rat? Of all places, if you're a food establishment.
I mean, the only thing worse is if it was an E. coli cell. That'd be the one worst mascot.
Yeah, this is at least number 2 then.
Yeah, or botulism. Bobby Botulism Pizza Time Theater.
And Ernie the E. coli string.
And Chuck E. Cheese. The little I know about Chuck E. Cheese is, besides the pizza's made of cardboard, is it was founded by the guy who founded
Atari. Yeah.
Atari.
Love it. Nolan Bushnell was the founder of both Chuck E. Cheese and Atari, and not in that order. Atari came first. They earned enough money because I think he had always wanted to start something in the world of food and entertainment, but then didn't have the means to do it, and Atari provided that means.
He had an idea. I read about this actually.
Mm-hmm.
He had an idea of doing like a bar with an arcade in it that would be for singles. Like, hey, I saw you playing music.
Let's go hang out.
Yeah, let's sit under this fern and have a Harvey Wellbanger or something like that.
Okay,
that's how I imagine it going. But then it evolved into Chuck E. Cheese, which kind of makes more sense because children like pizza and video games.
Yeah. It was an easy way for them to incorporate some of their games into the locations, right? So 1977, that's when it was founded. Yeah. Did you ever go to one?
I did. There was one where I grew up. There was a shopping center called the Willows, and I feel like there was one there. Mm-hmm. And it's just kind of scary.
Yeah.
Kind of pea smelling. pizza wasn't very good.
So the one that I grew up going to was in Redwood City.
Yeah.
The original one was in San Jose.
Right.
They expanded in a couple of locations across the Bay Area, possibly California. I went there for a birthday party.
Mhm.
Our Cub Scout troop went there for an event one time. But I just remember the eating area, right? The dining hall with the animatronics up on top, and the curtains would open up and they would reveal themselves and they would sing their songs. And that was a great place to sort of for a kid to go and get entertained. Then you had the entire arcade outside of that.
And it was a actual decent arcade.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was huge. You would hope so, right? If it's the founder of Atari.
Yeah. I think as we're talking about this, we can't assume that people know what we're talking about. Because I know from looking at the data, we have people listening from the UK. So Chuck E. Cheese was this pizza parlor that was geared towards little kids. And pizza wasn't the priority. They served pizza, but it was not. And so it was a giant arcade. And then they had these animatronic puppet creatures. And Five Nights at Freddy's, if you're familiar with that game and that franchise, is based on a Chuck E. Cheese-like environment. And so they would sing songs and then joke, and then I found it creepy. Even as a kid, it's like... Because I remember we were there one day, and it was like my mom, myself, another kid, and his mom. And we're the only people in there. And then so the performance starts, and these puppets come out, and they're asking for suggestions. Like, what's your favorite color or whatever? And no one was saying anything because it's the four of us. And they were all responding like we were talking to them. And it was creepy.
Wait, was it?
And that's my memory.
Was it? Did it actually respond live, or was it just a predetermined like?
No, it was all free. And so it's like, I'm not talking to you, lady. Don't pretend that.
So if somebody screamed out like, my favorite color is green, and so Chuck E. Cheese or whatever character would say like, blue, I love blue too.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw through their little scam. I was a cynical child, Wayne. I don't know.
I've learned that about you, by the way.
And now I just embrace life as an adult. But man, as a child, I was very cynical.
I could see you like sneaking behind the scenes and actually going into the back of the stage, and then like, oh god, these guys are they're just robots.
They're just robots. It would be like, it's like the Wizard of Oz. I would pull back the curtain and expose their clockwork mechanisms. Ugh, man, what a great day that would have been.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But that was a time when arcades were amazing. It was such a big part of growing up, I think.
Yeah.
In the 70s and 80s. Whether it's, the pinball culture that eventually turned into all the stand-up video game machines, it was everywhere. Like malls would have it, even restaurants would just have like one or two. Movie theaters had a big section, right? It was any way to keep you engaged, or at least kids and teenagers engaged while their parents were doing something else. It was such a big part of my life.
Yeah. And so, man, the arcades I remember, they all kind of mushed together. Like the arcade that I have the most emotional resonance with is there was a place in Walnut Creek where I grew up called Lippert's. And now I realize it didn't have an arcade. Oh my gosh.
No.
So it was an ice cream parlor that was very Victorian looking.
Okay.
And then they had a thing called the Mount Diablo Extravaganza. And so it was something like 20 scoops of ice cream of various flavors. And when someone would order it, they'd shout, "It's the Mount Diablo Extravaganza," and all this crazy kind of like music was going off, and they'd come out and everyone would clap. And no arcade. No arcade. I think they had a couple random video games, but no arcade.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
But it would be the most random places. I remember the Safeway in Millbrae used to have an arcade in front of it.
Yeah.
The kids would play there while your mom would go, grocery shopping, right?
Yeah. I think that's good.
Yeah. I have memories of my cousin and I going around the corner. There used to be a 7-Eleven on Geary in San Francisco. We used to go there, play Afterburner. Afterburner was a big game back then.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one, right?
That was like $1 game.
That was but that was worth it, right?
Yeah.
God, what were some other ones that I used to love playing? Tron was a really fun one.
Yeah.
And, not to dwell on Star Wars, but the Star Wars video game with, was all like, vector lines. That was super fun.
Speaking of vector lines, that tank battle.
Yeah, yeah. Some good stuff. Let's just talk about some of the old video games for a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously the big ones, right? Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Track and Field. Remember Track and Field?
Punch Out.
Punch Out was a really big one for a while.
Was Punch Out the
boxing?
Yeah, it was boxing, but it wasn't.
Well, eventually Nintendo had the Mike Tyson's Punch Out. They added him as like the ultimate opponent, right?
I played that game in Japan at an arcade in Japan because the summer after high school I was an exchange student in Japan. So that's the first time I played a Super NES was at someone's house in Japan.
Was it a Famicom?
Yeah, it was a Famicom. But the version of Punch Out in Japan was kind of racist. I'm just going to say.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to say why it was racist, but it was like, wow, you couldn't do that in the United States.
Where did you go to Tokyo or?
I mean, we started in Tokyo. I ended up in a town called Fukui, which was like the county seat of Fukui Prefecture. So, big call out to to all my Fukui heads out there. That was fun. It was a great summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, traveling is good.
Yeah. So I had a cousin, well, not cousin, I had cousins. My aunt and uncle lived down in San Jose. So we would go visit once in a while. And I remember early on, we used to drive down there and pass by orange orchards, which aren't there anymore. But I distinctly remember driving by them and smelling the scent of citrus coming into our station wagon as I'm looking out the back.
Right.
Speaking of arcades, we used to go to Oak Ridge Mall and go to the arcade there.
Right.
That was super fun. We would just go hang out there and spend a bunch of quarters at the arcade. There was a mini golf place called Golfland. I think the big sign used to have like a dragon of some sort on.
Yeah.
Right?
I remember that.
And for those who haven't experienced mini golf, we just were entertained a lot differently back then.
Do you think people don't play mini golf anymore?
Not to the extent as we did, right? Like,
yeah, it was more. That was a destination thing.
That was a destination, right?
Yeah, and it took planning.
Continuing on the South Bay thing, like one of the major places that I remember going with my cousins to was Raging Waters. So water slides, right?
Yeah.
And it was more fitting back then because San Jose, for those who don't know, is warmer than San Francisco.
Yeah.
You don't see many water slides in San Francisco.
No.
Because it's cold and slightly foggy. The temperature tends to get warmer when you go east, north, and south of San Francisco. Everywhere but. It was a perfect place for Raging Waters to expand to in San Jose in 1985.
Right.
I remember going there, and I think there were only like 3 slides at that time, but it was huge because it was like, oh my God, a slide that just keeps on going and twists and turns and, empties out into this big pool.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal, right? That was fun.
I went with some folks in high school. We went all the way down there because there wasn't anything close to that.
Yeah.
Like where I was living. So, so we went down there. And it was a whole thing. It was because San Jose seemed very far away. In fact, we probably should have just stayed on the highway and gone to Santa Cruz. But no, I remember going and it being just full of rutting teenagers, just like guys trying to pick up girls like looking cute for guys, and it was overwhelming a little bit.
When you went to Raging Waters, how old were you?
Must have been 17.
Oh yeah, so a different dynamic out there.
Yeah,
there were a lot of teenagers back then.
Yeah, and it was and I think it was like towards the beginning of summer vacation, so people were out, man. They wanted action, so they went to Raging Waters. But how often growing up would you go to San Jose? Would you say?
A couple times a year to visit my aunt and uncle.
Oh, that's right, because you got the relatives.
Yeah. Other than that, it just didn't seem accessible. Right.
Right.
Because you kind of stayed a little more local back then, at least the way that I perceived it. We didn't go down there. You only went down there for a reason, not to like go eat. Nowadays you just go anywhere.
Yeah. If something took more than 45 minutes, that was like a day trip.
Pack a bag, right?
Yeah.
Look for a Days Inn to check into. It's definitely a lot easier now, but back then there was effort, to get there.
Yeah.
So
And so I think I've been to San Jose maybe 10 times in total. I've been to a couple of like tech conferences in San Jose.
yeah.
I went to the Disney on Ice.
Down at the Shark Tank.
Yeah, no, that's true. I did go see hockey. I saw my godmother's daughter graduate from San Jose State.
Mm.
I think I was like 12. And then if you're in San Jose and you need something to do, go to the Rosicrucian Egyptian Museum. It's bonkers. The Rosicrucians are sort of like the Freemasons, and they're an esoteric order, and they get a lot of their wisdom from ancient Egyptian texts. And I suspect a lot of things that they say are ancient Egyptian texts, but aren't. They're sort of like, if you remember the end of Peggy Sue Got Married, there's a weird fraternal order in that. And I think the Rosicrucians are like that. So, but they have this museum, and they show you all, they actually have Egyptian stuff, but then they like sneak in a little bit of their esoteric weirdness. It's worth going to. It's nutty.
And it's still there.
I think it's still there, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that's like old school San Jose. I think it's been there, at least that building. It's a beautiful building.
Right.
So San Jose, I think, is something we're going to have to explore further and maybe actually talk to people who are from the South Bay.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're from the South Bay, drop us some comments. What are some places that need to be called out? Let us know. I was going to ask you, had you ever gone to the Winchester Mystery House?
No, and I want to go.
Yeah, me too. I've never been.
That's a field trip.
That's definitely a hella foggy field trip for sure. I do remember the theaters next to Winchester, and they were huge. They're like big domes. I think it was the Century or something.
Was that like the tourist section of San Jose?
Well, Winchester is like right off the freeway, off of 280. But right next to the house is the theaters. At least there used to be. And I'd gone there in my 20s. I watched a couple movies down there, and they were huge. Like they were enormous dome theaters.
I think that was part of the geodesic dome thing of like the late 50s, early 60s. It's just a very efficient way to build a large space, because you're not using pylons to hold it up. You're using the arc of the dome to hold it up. So obviously there's other fun things to do besides go to arcades, right?
I don't know about that, but sure.
There is one arcade that I loved. There was an arcade on Broadway in San Francisco.
Okay.
And this is when we were adults, but it was awesome because it was like very dusty. So it smelled like that ozone melting fire pit.
Oh, God.
it was clearly. Anyways, so other fun things besides arcades.
What else did you do?
Yeah. Well, we had access to Berkeley, and Berkeley was, that's where UC Berkeley is.
Yeah. What do you mean by access, though?
Access, because we could just hop on the BART train and leave kind of our
that's right,
our kind of boring suburb to go into the heart of Berkeley, which is a crazy place.
So there's a BART station in Walnut Creek?
There's a BART station in Walnut Creek or Lafayette, depending on who I was going with.
Okay.
And then we jump on, and then half an hour we'd be in Berkeley, and you'd have to transfer at MacArthur.
Oh.
And so that was a thing. But it was funny because we didn't realize till later that you could transfer and just end up in downtown Berkeley. So we would go to Rockridge in Oakland, take the AC Transit up like maybe a mile and a half or a mile.
Yeah.
And I remember once we were young people, and there may have been some smoking of some stuff that happened. This is before we got on BART in Lafayette. So we show up in Oakland, and then we get on AC Transit, and there's a guy doing 3-card Monte in the back of the AC Transit bus. And my friend, this is the middle of the day, dude, and my friend's like, I got this figured out. And the guy goes, "Oh, really? You've got this figured out?" So yeah, I know what you're doing. Okay, $20. So my friend puts
That's a lot back then.
both the fact that we're teenagers and have dumb jobs and the fact that it's the 80s where $20 is like $6,000.
Yeah.
So we're riding on the bus and it's like, no man, I got this. Don't worry about it. Kind of par for course for this particular friend who's very intelligent, very charming, very smart, but at the time he was very impulsive. And so yeah, he lost his $20. But it was kind of cool because we're like, oh my god, we just got ripped off in a 3-card Monte game. It's like we're big city people now.
That's sad. That's just sad. So this guy just sits up in the back of the bus and just rides it and just makes.
I think if we had been sober, we'd recognize this for just like being a cartoon. It was so over the top. What a scam this was.
It's a scam.
And I knew enough. I retained enough sobriety that I was able to tell my friend, hey, don't do this. It's stupid. And he's like, no, dude, I got it figured out. And he got it. Yeah, I lost $20. That was a CD or a record he couldn't buy that day. Because that's what you do. When you go to Berkeley, you'd go to the record stores. There was probably 3 or 4 really good ones. Amoeba, Rasputin's, Tower.
Yeah.
And then there was another one. And I can't remember its name. So, and then there was the T-shirt orgy where you could go buy band T-shirts. And then there was Blondie's Pizza where you got pretty bland, doughy pizza that was very filling for very cheap. And so we just walk around and go look at cool shops and go to bookstores and then lose money to con people on the bus.
Nice.
And I think for other people in my high school, that was kind of like at least a once a month thing was going into
That's pretty cool. Yeah, we didn't have access to that. Like we didn't have BART on the peninsula.
No. So you had the arcades.
Yeah.
You had movie theaters, obviously.
Yeah.
And malls.
So we had this place called Fashion Island, which was right on the border of San Mateo and Foster City for a while.
Yeah.
It was a short-lived mall, by the way. Like it only existed for, I think, maybe 10, 15 years. But they had a big skating rink with a food court that surrounded it. So like you can just hang out there. And right next to it was a movie theater. And then right next to the movie theater was this enormous arcade. I think it was called The Tilt. But yeah, you didn't really have to go anywhere if you went to Fashion Island. Like you can go ice skating, you can eat at the food court, go to the arcade, go see a movie.
Yeah.
All, one-stop shop. And then there was, the anchor stores. The big anchor store at the beginning of it was this department store called Bullock's.
Yeah.
I think it's from Southern California or something, right?
Yeah. My sister worked at the Bullock's on Walnut Creek.
Oh, okay. But the one here was a little iconic visually because it was a big tent. It looked like a circus.
Yeah.
It was white. And like you could see it from afar off the freeway.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that nonsense.
There were bowling alleys up and down the peninsula. Tons of bowling alleys. I don't know how many there are left, but
right.
The city that I grew up in, Millbrae, there were 2 of all places.
Yeah, we had a couple.
I think there used to be more bowling alleys in San Francisco, at least. My parents, when they were dating, they used to go bowling. They used to do bowling night in San Francisco.
That's very romantic.
It is very romantic.
Yeah. We should go bowling, Wayne. I like bowling.
Yeah. There was that. There was actually a roller skating rink, the Roladium in San Mateo. I think it closed in the 90s. Those were like the things that you would do, right?
All right. Roller skating. I got a roller skating rink story.
Oh boy.
That's not a story. But so our roller skating rink was the Golden Skate in San Ramon. And so we'd go there like end of the year, like on field trips, right?
Yeah.
So in the same parking lot as the Golden Skate, there was a topless bar called the Wicked Eye. Or the Naked Eye. No, Wicked Eye. And so as kids in the school bus on the way to go to our roller skating, invariably someone would start chanting, "Wicked Eye, Wicked Eye." You'd see a school bus pulling up next to a topless bar called Wicked Eye and a bunch of children screaming Wicked Eye.
All the boys would just head over to the right side of the bus.
Yeah. Everyone did it. The girls were part of it as well, the shouting part. And then we go over to the Golden Skate. And so the Golden Skate, was also where they hosted the crossing guard thank you luncheon. And so
Were you a crossing guard?
So I was on the cross
Nice.
guard squad. They treated us to school pizza, and I started getting a stomach ache, right?
Oh no.
And there was a girl I was gonna ask to dance and all this stuff. We get to the rink, and I start vomiting right in the lobby of the skating rink.
Oh.
And I didn't even get a chance to skate.
Oh, Greg.
So that was my big roller skating thing, Wayne.
Did you have this nickname afterwards or something?
No, I salute my my fellow crossing guards.
What happens at Golden Skate?
Stays at Golden Skate. Exactly.
Oh boy. Good for them.
Really impressive. Did you roller skate?
I ride my bike a lot,
That's good. That was healthy.
I was always jealous of my cousin. He had a BMX bike that
Yeah.
had handbrakes, and
Jeez.
I used to think that the handbrakes were like, the ultimate.
Yeah.
And I had I forget, maybe it was a Schwinn or dirt bike that had foot brakes, right? And
Yeah.
now I'm thinking, God, foot brakes are the best because you can skid and
Oh yeah.
you
You can do that. The very dramatic.
yeah, you slam on the brakes and you go
Yeah. And leave a little black mark on the.
yeah, and the handbrakes would just be like I didn't appreciate it until later on.
Right. Yeah, I had a Columbia Skipper, which is like really a very basic bike.
Yeah.
And kind of transformed it into like this half BMX monstrosity. But then there were kids that had like mongooses and like the really fancy ones.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know what a fancy BMX bike is, but they were shiny, I guess.
Yeah, my cousins had like blue tires too.
What?
Yeah. I just felt like mine was so vanilla compared to his. It had all the bells and whistles, the handbrakes and the blue tires, the gold-plated brake calipers.
What?
Very cool.
Get out of here with that nonsense. That's a bunch of hooey. I don't believe that.
Oh my god. Yeah, I felt like mine was like gotten from the used car dealership,
No, that was definitely mine.
Yeah.
When I first got it, there was like all this uncool stuff. And then for whatever reason, my dad went out and got like a cool BMX handlebar. We took the chain guard off because that looked dorky as hell.
Mm.
And then there was traded the banana seat for like a regular seat.
Yeah. You don't want that.
And got knobby tires. The knobby tires were like perfect.
Yeah. All right. There's got to be stuff that we did, right? Besides play video games. Were there any times that you and your friends would come into the city?
Yeah, there was a thing that they did when I was in high school called First Night, and so you'd buy like a $20 ticket.
Yeah.
And the idea was it was supposed to be if you weren't drinking alcohol, you got access to all these not entirely boozed out venues.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great. So we got to go to see all these concerts in that one night. And so I saw Primus, I saw Camper Van Beethoven, I saw like punk bands, and we're just bopping all over the city. And then my craziest, not my craziest, the thing I remember was I was with a bunch of friends from high school. This was after high school, though. Yeah, we would have been like 20, 21. Okay. We decided to go to the city at the last minute. Mm-hmm. I was with Michael and someone we're going to call Sean, whose real name isn't Sean. So we went to the marina or something, or someplace downtown, or So we go to this bar. It's weird. It was not our crowd. It was very kind of sorority fratty place, and we weren't that. But our friend Sean was very much like, I gotta meet a woman. The rest of us were like, we're kind of tired, and the whole thing was stupid, and we had to catch Bart back to the East Bay, and Sean goes missing. It's like, oh, hell. So we walked up and down the street. We looked in the men's room. We looked everywhere. No Sean. And this is pre-mobile phone. So...
Sure. I would hope so. Yeah.
Fine. Let's just go home. And then he's probably left. And so we go home.
Yeah.
And then the next day, we find out our friend Sean, and I can't remember what he got up to that, like, he just wandered away and he missed the last part, and then decided he was gonna walk home. And this is
from the marina.
Yeah, so this is 30 miles. And so he got as far as the Bay Bridge. It's a giant bridge. It's not a footpath. It's not for goats. It's a multi-lane highway.
Yeah.
He got frightened, and so he spent the night in a concrete bunker by the side of the road, and then slept there.
It's like where all the utilities are,
and it's just this awful dark concrete bunker on the side of a very busy highway in the middle of the night, and it's foggy.
Yeah.
So we heard from him the next day. He was very angry.
I mean, he's by the bridge, so I bet it was hella foggy.
Oh man, is this the end, Wayne?
What?
Is this?
Yeah, maybe.
This is the end, right here.
Yeah.
All right.
This is the end. Well, no, it's the beginning. Remember, it's the beginning of a year. All these possibilities, Greg.
Don't be positive.
Be positive. This is 2026. It's never been 2026 ever before until now.
You don't know that. But listen, all right. You know how our year can be more positive?
Yeah. How?
Is if our listeners drop us some lines and tell us what they want to hear, what they don't want to hear, what they're liking, what they're not liking. Do they have suggestions? Can someone tell me the way to San Jose? And then yeah.
Shout out to Dionne Warwick.
Always.
Drop us a comment on whatever platform you're listening to this on.
Yeah.
But definitely, we love hearing from you guys. We're a bunch of idiots, so we get things wrong all the time.
All the time.
Whatever you're sort of noticing, give us some feedback.
Yeah, man. That's what we're living for.
Yeah.
To hear from you.
And if you want to recommend the podcast to your friends, spread the word.
Yeah.
All right. That wraps up our first episode of the year, Greg.
It was a good one, too.
It was a long one. Good memories.
Oh my
God. I got to bust out my Atari now. I feel like I need to spend a couple hours playing Space Invaders.
I'm going to go to Berkeley and lose money on a 3-card Monte game.
All right. Well, bring a couple 20s then.
All right. Well,
oh, wait. Your buddy's calling you right now. You can win it.
All right.
We'll talk to you next time.
All right. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. So in 76.
Wow.
You're like, just finish this stupid story. So
No.
in 76, they moved the team because they were